How's it going, everybody? Um, some amazing comments by y'all. So I just want to get caught up. Been super busy. I started a new job Friday. Very excited about that. Um, Still in education, just no longer PE. So I'm on the leadership team at the school where I'm hired at, which is it's in the discipline realm, and I think I'll do well. You know, bridge the gap between troubled kids or kids that are having issues with their teacher, bridge the gap between teacher parent, just lots of logging and creating documentation of when teachers did communicate with parents, and just, how can I help little Johnny stay in the classroom, not be a disturbance, so on and so forth. So I'm looking forward to that challenge. And let's get on with what I'm looking at as far as December 18th. The girl, her initials were KAH. K. What do we do that? KAH. You'll see the 1118, which is 1118. Well, when Colby Covington sat down, and he had the chaos jacket, and you turned around, it had Miami, it had a big wave or waves hitting, it said chaos Miami, which would fit into La Palma hitting and so forth. And he had the NYPD and the FDNY hats. They were in Madison Square Garden. And I was like, I wonder what those two come to in gematria. And you get Taco Tuesday right off the bat. Beetlejuice, Waco. But you ended up getting 1118, and I'll go deeper on this later. I need to run to Whole Foods. You get 55. You do get full moon, which is taking place within 24 hours on 1118. Maybe it was the other one, Isis, Horus, and Set. I do want to run through all of that gematria. Maybe it was the other one. Maybe it was the Isis, Horus, and Set. You get Riders on the Storm, Robert Kennedy, Aquarius Moon. It definitely won't be that on the 18th. You get Guy Ritchie. Floyd Mayweather, if I'm not mistaken, was on here somewhere. There he is, Floyd Mayweather. I only scrolled it once. I didn't go to the next pages. There's January 11th. But where is the 1118? I've skipped over it. It's on one of them. Let me pause and find it. By the way, December Sagittarius comes up with Isis, Horus, and Set. And that's when the big eclipse is coming up. Guy Ritchie, Riders on the Storm. You do get September 4th. You get December Sagittarius the other way. So I guess that was on. I bet the 1118 was on the NY. Yeah, and it was in the, hang on, let me pause. Well, when I hit pause, it was sitting right in front of me. 1118 comes to NYPD, FDNY. So you start to look at that date and you're like, well, we got to run it through the calculator. And was it this one? It's 53 days. And that's, 153 fish. That's my, if y'all remember my thing, that's my third marriage number progression, which I hope that's all about being the bride of Christ, unless the Lord's got some sort of plan. for some reason. But the 53 days through the portal does hit on that day. And if we add it through, it comes to March 4th. And I don't know. It just dawned on me to really take a hard look at that day for us. It is, I believe, next Thursday. November 2022 calendar.
Check out these pictures.
Why did I say 2022? Because my brain is into the future. Okay. So the 18th is on a Thursday. It's a week from tomorrow. Which could play into, that's also when Jesus died. Not sure about that. Not dogmatic about it. There's lots of studies, lots of theories about that, but let's go through your comments. I believe this is one we went through, but I just wanted to start early. All right. A chevron, AWTR also said, a chevron could also come from the word meaning goat, presumably because of the V shape represents goat horns. Trump does the V peace sign symbol a lot. Yeah. And remember the Michael Jackson, This Is It, where he made that same, and we're going to see that in the football that I'm going to show you that ESPN is doing, their football logos and so forth. Oh, there it is. See the horns? Red. They're not trying to fake nothing. I mean, anybody with eyes to see and ears to hear. I didn't go up, did I? And I did go up. There's more of a close-up. It's just sort of in your face, isn't it? Yeah, they really don't care. They know that X number of people just won't see it no matter what. And that's the majority. Very few people are giving eyesight. What is that? That's the yoni, of course. It's the yoni. It's what the peace sign stands for. The V, the woman's reproductive region, period. Which all boys, that's the flesh. But it's all about their birthing. Michael said, America entered World War I in April 6th of 1917. World War I ended on 11/11 at 11 a.m. 1918. You're just making that up, Michael. 11/11 at 11. Wow. Tomorrow's 11/11, y'all. Straight up. Let's run that April 6th through the portal. Let me pause so I don't waste your time. Looks like 86 days. Let's double check that. We love that number 86 for being a day that the Antichrist would be removed, don't we? So subtract it. I don't know. That's way back in October. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously April, I think we like May 11th. If we get through the winter without him going down, the last real date we have for the winter would really be that Valentine's region. And once we clear that, if he hasn't gone down by Valentine's, we're going to have to start looking at May 11th. That goes through the portal and hits with 9/11. And there are some dates you can look at during the summer because of the rising of Sirius, the dog star, the blazing star. But then we'll just keep kicking it on over into 2022. That's all I can think of. And then if it just keeps going, then when he said he had corona on October 2nd of 2020, that does through the portal land exactly on a solar eclipse, which is what the corona is for on Hitler's birthday, 2023. I'm thinking that's the abomination of desolation because I'm looking at any time. But if he continues to live, then I think we would have to look at that election year and that spring and blah, blah, blah. So, but I like the 18th. Obviously, I like 11/11 for tomorrow. And there is Michael's 11/11. What was I going to look at? The April 6th that went back to October 16th. Okay, that's what that was about. What Michael gave us. So let's keep going. That's just extraordinary. We have to really look hard at tomorrow's 11/11. When we do look at 11/11, is that 59 days on the portal? Oh my goodness. It's right at 60 days. Okay. 11/11, right at 60 days. Run it through the portal. It lands on 3/11, which is when the WHO declared their global illness. And we know that when he goes down, it will open the book of Revelation and declare the four horses, which is the global illness. That horse will be pale by the time it gets there. And when you're sick, you're pale. When you're pale, you're sick. Tomorrow's a big day. Plain and simple. And it's a Thursday again, which could be the day that Jesus went down. So we love it. We're looking hard at tomorrow. And then let's look 7 days later to the 18th, the day before the full moon. Running time for the 1917 movie is 119 minutes. How perfect. It premiered in London on 12/4, which 2 years later is the solar eclipse. And they like doing things spaced out in 2 years. We had an eclipse that made an X across America on August 21st, 2017. And then exactly 2 years later to the day, on the exact same day, and remember, 2 years later, Trump said, "I am the chosen one." So 2 years before the solar eclipse, we had a 1917 and a 11/9 or 9/11. So again, of course, we're looking at that solar eclipse. That's 37 days out from the portal, which is the 12th prime number, 12th for the church. The Great Tribulation is for the church. The book of Revelation is for the cleansing of the church. That's what it's all about. And it cannot begin until the Antichrist receives his crown. So as Jesus received his crown later on, we were able to get our eternal life through his crowning. And of course, their world is going to have a strong delusion that they're going to get their eternal life by worshiping the image of the beast because of what the Antichrist did, receiving his fake crown. It was released on 12/25/2019 in the USA, which means if Trump does go down on 12/4 or anytime before, but let's keep it in line with this. If he does go down and rise on the solar eclipse golf course, maybe it goes down the day before, rises the next day on the solar eclipse, the new moon, then that means on 12/25, when it's released in the USA, that means World War III will be unleashed on the USA. And then it says released all the way, not just a premiere, but all the way in January 10th of 2020. Of course, that's the portal date. Straight up portal date. And that would probably either has to do with the portal or when London would start be having their issues with bombings and grids going out and more bombings and beginning the war, the famine, and the death in London on January 10th. So that's very interesting what Michael brings to the table there. And we're done. All right. There was more. I knew there was more. That's right. We go to the comments down here. And we just went through that with Michael, and I can go ahead and give him some love and thumbs up. Love and thumbs up. Unrelated to your video tonight, but don't you find it weird that the trackdown episode called The End of the World was released on May 9th, 1958? The Quantum Leap episode called It's a Wonderful Leap, showing a young Donald Trump, and it's always in a taxi cab. And his father was set in New York City on May 10th, 1958. Donald Trump. 58 rooms, 58 floors is May 8th. Then you've got May 9th. Then you've got May 10th. Remember, Earl died on May 8th. My parents died on May 6th. I can't quite put it together, but that is fascinating stuff. Zarlodius, Google the image of the Caduceus and then Google the Baphomet, compare the two. What are people worshiping right now? Medicine, but that is the image of the beast. There's going to be a real image of the beast, though. I'm just straight up telling you that. But we always appreciate your comments, and we're glad that you're here. So keep them coming. My friend Justin, who I just saw, I met for the first time in South Carolina when we were on our road trip. He says pretty crazy stuff. And Gina says, I love how they drop suggestions all over the media before they go forward with our coming opening of the book of Revelation. Basically, good times. And so thank you, Gina. So now I think that's it. And there's that 11:18. Let me go ahead on and let's go through all of them. Y'all can go ahead on and X out if you want. This will be the last thing I do on the video, unless you see a lot of time afterwards, then you might want to keep going. But you get Taco Tuesday with NYPD combined with FDNY. You get Van Allen Belt, Beetlejuice, Dow, The Last Phoenix Star, (11:18), which of course really caught my eye when I saw it. It is the initials of the girl I almost married, who is a gigantic QAnon Donald Trump fan. KAH are her initials, K11, A1, and then H8, 1118, which is 11:18, and it is right at this coming full moon, which if you go to the name of this full moon, Frost, that's right. So, and it's early in the morning, y'all, here. So that means it is on the 18th in England, right? Isn't that how it does? It backs up, right? It's a partial lunar eclipse peaking at 4:04. Well, that's how many verses are in the book of Revelation, and it was my original address the first 3 years of my life. 404 verses in the book of Revelation. So I'm liking that 18th. I really am. You know, it's up there. Let's just put it like that. So anyway. Chemtrails, Fallen Angels, 81, knock, knock, heart attack. Days of Noah. Robinette, Biden's middle name, because Trump is Batman. He is Robin. All the world's a stage. Yes, I bought that C60. It's very expensive. But I'm waiting for the AI to put something that I didn't purchase and it'd be like really embarrassing or something. There's 1811, which of course is just the reversal. You do get Kevin Hart, Cam Newton, Marco Polo, which has been in the commercials recently. Corvette IRA. Not a lot for NYPD, FDNY. Nothing really about why isn't it circulating all the way through? Oh, I guess we ran out of simple gematria. There it is. It finally clicked. There it is. I was going to say that one is usually the last two. You do get Dealey Plaza, which Dealey Plaza right there would tell you when Trump would get popped. Does that mean that's when he's no? But that would coalesce because that was when the last leader was assassinated. You're like, well, Trump's not president. First of all, they will tell you he is, so he could tie into all the presidential assassinations. But we know that the Antichrist has always been in power, so he is still the leader. Again, Batman and Robinette. Vaccination comes up. Be a few good men. Michael, did you bring up April 6th? Because April 6th pops up. What was Michael's comment about April 6th? When World War I began. Okay, so the date of when World War I began, along with Dealey Plaza. And we know that when he goes down, it kicks off World War III because it's all the four horses basically taking place. Do 2 billion die in one day? No, that's not what we're saying. But once it begins, these things must shortly come to pass. And that's meaning the crowning of the Antichrist all the way through the return of Jesus. Really, the crowning of the Antichrist, the fake crowning of the Antichrist as it's given to him by the goat world, all the way through the New Jerusalem. Those things will shortly come to pass over a 4-year span, in my opinion. 2021 to 2024, basically, or 2025. And God, the length of God's wrath is factored into that amount of time. There is a set amount of time for the Antichrist reign, but you must nullify every bit of that when Jesus says, but unless I cut those days short, no flesh would be saved. So the days are cut. So eliminate those days. Just eliminate them in your head because they're not actually set in stone because Jesus cuts those days short. Right? Sun explosion. Well, of course. This the acronyms for New York City Police and Fire definitely come up with some interesting items, don't they? Why is Dealey Plaza popping up again? I guess I did not hit the button. Okay. So this will be our 4th page. This will be our last run through. Again, it's not loading. Bam. When we go to Isis, Horus, and Set. You do have the 821 in there for the eclipse date. You've got the 86 in there. Did it ever come through? It's trying to now. I don't want to confusion, start a different gematria. Is it my computer that's having problems, or we would assume so. By the way, I see Diana trivia. Do y'all know that Indiana is the words in Diana? And polis means, I pretty much means a city or a population or a populace. So it's the city in Diana, means they're all about Diana. Definition of polis: a city-state in ancient Greece, especially also considered in its ideal for the philosophical purposes. It's Indianapolis means, philosophically speaking, they are in Diana. Diana, the great Diana, which is nothing more than the goddess or Lucifer. The great Diana, Book of Acts. When they heard these things, saying they were full of wrath, and cried out, saying, saying, great is Diana of the Ephesians. See, where Paul was writing to the Ephesians and all that, Diana was huge there. Just like where I live. I mean, I know I'm surrounded. I mean, surrounded. I'm dead when they say I'm dead. And that'll be when God puts it in their hearts. Boom. They have no power over me. But when the Lord says, you may take him out and let him suffer his final step of tribulation, then it'll happen. Diana trivia. Off the Wall, which was Michael Jackson. So anything related to Michael Jackson, pay big attention to. So Off the Wall, landing on that, you just have to, that really has to magnify everything else that has been taking place or that we ran over. This is our 5th page. And I was going to go through it quickly, but it won't load. Let's go through now and take a look at Isis, Horus, and Set, Riders on the Storm. Of course, December Sagittarius. I am Saturn's son, which we have to remember that when it says he has a bow and a crown was given to him, you gotta love that eclipse time, don't you? You just got to be all over that eclipse time. And that's who goes in the transfer portal, number 4 for December 4th, and that transfer portal commercial that we've run through many times. Gate to Salvation, the Giza Pyramids, Ivana Marie Trump, if that's her middle name, Henry Kissinger, Floyd Mayweather, January 11th, which is the day after the portal, which would portal back through January 9th, one whole day. November 12th, which is the day I start my new job. It's this Friday. And we did finally get the last page going back to NYPD, FDNY, that I just wanted to run through quickly. Boaz and Jockin, what do you know? For NYPD, FDNY. Then most of y'all know what that means. I'm not going to get into it here. I'm uncomfortable enough where I live. Where I live, we have 2 football teams. That one's called the Winter Haven Blue Devils and Kathleen Red Devils. red and blue, both called devils in my county. Somebody in my county, very prominent, was appointed by Donald Trump to a cabinet position. And he wields a lot of power, so I'm very uncomfortable. Isis horse set. I just don't know what's going on with this. I don't know. I'm going to let Michael go through it, see if there's anything there. I'm going to get out of here. Love y'all. Computer's just not working.